Tick-tock, tick-tock. Time isn't your friend, and neither are the people around you. They smile at your ideas, laugh at your dreams, whisper behind closed doors. But do they really know what it takes to survive in the madness that is life? No, no, no. They don't. Not even close. And that's why you're here. Right? Hungry. Hungry for the chaos. Hungry for the truth. Hungry to see the kings and queens of wealth, the architects of power, the one society calls crazy geniuses, defending your honor like predators in a cage. You think power is about money. That's cute. That's a children's game. Real power? It's control. It's fear. It's audacity so sharp it cuts through the nonsense you've been told all your life. These billionaires, they're not human in the way you think. They see the world like a chessboard painted in fire and ice. Every move calculated, every risk a test. And here's the delicious part. They're not just playing for themselves. No, they're playing for you. For the version of you that society tried to break. They fight with madness, with brilliance, with that edge that makes ordinary people tremble. And you're about to learn how to take that chaos, swallow it, and spit out a life that screams back at the world. Look around. This world, it's a stage for the reckless, the brave, the unapologetically bold. And here's a little secret. They don't ask permission, ever. Every second, billions of tiny betrayals happen. Contracts are broken, deals collapse, loyalties vanish. And while most people run scared, these few, these monstrous geniuses, they thrive. They laugh while others panic. They carve empires out of the mistakes you were told to avoid. They harness madness like electricity, like a weapon designed for the weak to envy, and the strong to envy even more. You think they're lucky. Nah. Luck is a myth. They're precise, calculated, obsessive. And by the end of this, you'll see how that madness, that unapologetic insanity, can become your greatest ally. And now it's your turn. You feel it in your chest, don't you? That low hum, the one that says you're better than what they see on your resume, better than the polite nods and empty smiles. That voice whispers, I can't be ignored. That's the spark. That's the fire they can't teach you. But they can show you how to ignite. Because while the world sleeps, these billionaires are awake, playing a game so dark and sharp, most people would crumble. But not you. Not anymore. It's time to step into the madness, to embrace it, to see the world for what it really is, a place where honor isn't given, it's defended, weaponized, and claimed with brutal genius. Feel the pulse, hear it thumping in your veins. This isn't about comfort. This isn't about safety. This is about energy that burns hotter than any warning label, hotter than any fear you've been sold. This is the edge of civilization. And these billionaires, they're standing at that edge with a grin, daring you to jump. And you will. You have to. Because the only thing worse than falling is never knowing the thrill of taking control, of defending what's yours with a mind wired like a bomb, ticking with brilliance and chaos. And if you think this is entertainment, you're wrong. This is initiation. Welcome to the arena where sanity is optional, brilliance is mandatory, and courage is forged in fire. Every lesson, every story, every move you're about to witness, it's a blueprint, a blueprint to survive, to strike, to rise, to become untamed, to see honor not as a word, but as a weapon, a tool sharpened by the hands of the world's most fearless minds. Now offered to you if you dare. You want proof? Huh? Proof is a luxury for the timid, but let's indulge. Picture a man who turned a garage into an empire. He wasn't patient. He wasn't polite. He was relentless. Every failure became fuel. Every doubter a target. And what did he defend? Not just himself. He defended the idea that your vision, your honor, your fire can't be mocked by the world. He took the chaos of uncertainty, twisted it, weaponized it, and built a fortress from it. Every step was madness. Every leap felt insane until it worked. And now, that same playbook, strategy forged in the crucible of risk, is there for you to borrow, to learn, to use. Think bigger, think louder. Another titan, infamous for bending rules the world swore were unbreakable. Laws, norms, reputations, he danced along the edge, daring the universe to blink first. Why? Because he wasn't defending money, he was defending belief. Belief that no one, not the critics, not the boards, not the fake friends whispering behind closed doors, gets to define what you're worth. That level of audacity, that's honor carved into reality. And guess what? It's contagious. The moment you see it, something clicks. That fire in your chest, it starts to scream, I can do it too, I will. And here's the delicious irony. The world calls them crazy, dangerous, unhinged. But who's laughing when the empire stands taller than the doubts? Ha! Who's laughing when the so-called rules collapse under the weight of genius? They defend your honor without asking, without announcing it. Every bold, insane move they make whispers to you, it's your turn. And if you're willing to stare into the chaos, if you're willing to embrace the sharp edge, you begin to realize their madness isn't madness at all. It's a map, a blueprint for how to take what's yours without apology. Picture this. One billionaire stands in a boardroom where everyone said no, where failure wasn't a fear, it was a guarantee. He grinned. He pushed. He risked everything. And when the dust settled, the world obeyed. Why? Because he knew that defending honor isn't about fighting for what people see. It's about fighting for what they can't yet comprehend. Every invention, every deal, every headline they scoffed at, it was armor. Armor for the idea that no one can steal your ambition, your edge, your voice. And now, that armor is yours to study, to wield, to emulate. So what does this mean for you? It means stop hiding behind safety. Stop begging for permission. Stop letting mediocrity whisper that your fire is too bright, too dangerous. The billionaires you're watching, they've turned madness into method, chaos into currency, risk into a shield. And it's not reserved for them. No, it's a secret left in plain sight. Pick it up, learn it, use it, defend yourself, defend your honor, defend your life, and do it with that same insane audacity that made them legends. The world is not kind. It never was, and it never will be. But neither are you, not if you take this seriously. Not if you stare into the abyss and grin. Not if you let the brilliance of those who came before you teach you the one lesson that matters. Honor isn't a word. It's an action. It's a move, a strike, a statement that says, I am not yours to break. Every empire they built, Every risk they embraced, every mad decision, it's proof. Proof that what you protect, the fire inside, is worth the chaos, worth the risk, worth the obsession. So watch closely, learn, absorb, and then act. Because the next chapter, it's not theirs, it's yours. And the only thing standing between the version of you that survives and the version that dominates is whether you're ready to wield the madness like a weapon. Step closer. Lean in. This isn't theory. This isn't fluff. This is the code. The secret moves. The madness in motion. You've seen them rise, laugh at the impossible, dodge the traps laid by every critic and coward. Now it's time to dissect their genius. Every move they make, there's a method. Every risk, a ritual. Every crazy idea, a weapon aimed straight at weakness. Yours, mine, theirs. Understand obsession. Obsession isn't a word. They live it. It's an engine that never sleeps. Imagine a billionaire who studies every failure in the market, every weakness in the system, every human flaw, and then exploits it with precision. Day after day, night after night, every obsession becomes a tool. Every tool becomes armor. The lesson? Pick your target. Study it. Consume it. Own it. Obsess like your life depends on it, because in this arena it does. The world laughs at obsession until it becomes unstoppable. Embrace audacity, not courage, not boldness. Audacity. The difference? Audacity scares the timid, shocks the cautious, and moves mountains that no safe plan could ever touch. Billionaires don't ask, what if it fails? They ask, what if I win so hard they can't ignore me? That's the move you take when you're defending your honor. Take risks that seem insane. Make decisions that would terrify anyone else. Stand so far on the edge that the abyss stares back and hesitates. And then, strike. Weaponize chaos. The world is messy, unfair, unpredictable. Most people shrink. Billionaires, they thrive. They create systems that bend disorder into advantage, that turn setbacks into leverage, that spin betrayal into momentum. Every chaotic moment becomes ammunition. Every threat becomes a lesson in survival. Learn to do the same. Turn interruptions into opportunities, insults into fuel, obstacles into ladders. Madness, when mastered, is armor, and armor is the only thing protecting honor in a battlefield this ruthless. Mastery of perception. You don't just fight with money, skill, or muscle. You fight with eyes that see 3 moves ahead, with presence that bends reality, with whispers that reshape belief. Billionaires know that if the world thinks you're fragile, irrelevant, or weak, you are. So they sculpt image, narrative, and timing like a weapon. You learn it. Control how the world sees you. Be larger than your circumstances. Make doubt stumble at the sight of you. Honor isn't just defended in action. It's defended in the way you make others feel powerless to touch you. Relentless adaptation. Nothing is static. Markets shift. Alliances crumble. Trends die. And the greatest minds, they evolve faster than the chaos. They watch, calculate, pivot, dominate. Stagnation is death. You must outthink, outmaneuver, outlast. Learn the lessons of the madmen who refuse to be trapped by yesterday's rules. Be flexible, fierce, and unyielding. Honor is a living thing. To protect it, you must grow with it, or risk losing everything to the predictable mediocrity that surrounds you. Now imagine this blueprint in your hands. Obsession, audacity, chaos, perception, adaptation. Taken together, they are not just strategies. They are a war plan, a manifesto for anyone who refuses to let the world define them, dilute them, or break them. Billionaires defend honor with madness. But you can steal their method, absorb it, transform it, make it yours. And when you do, when you embrace the fire of brilliance fused with controlled insanity, the world will notice. They will bow. Not because they want to, but because they can't do anything else. This is the edge. This is the arena. And now that you've seen the moves, understood the madness, felt the pulse, it's your turn. Take it. Own it. Let no one touch your honor again. Because the next step isn't waiting. The next level isn't polite. And the only thing standing between you and your own empire of power is whether you're willing to embrace the madness fully, ruthlessly, brilliantly. Listen. Enough watching. Enough learning. Enough pretending you're safe on the sidelines. The time to move is now. Feel that tremor in your chest. That's the chaos calling your name. That's the part of you the world tried to dull, but it's alive, screaming, demanding release. This isn't practice. This isn't theory. This is the battlefield. And right now, the billionaires you've seen, the geniuses, the madmen, the architects of power, they've already set the blueprint. They've shown the way. The rest is yours. Claim your edge. Stop letting doubt linger like a shadow on your shoulder. Your honor isn't borrowed. It isn't earned from others' permission. It's taken. Right here. Right now. Every second you hesitate. Every moment you wait for validation. The world chips away at what's yours. So take it. Take it like a storm, like fire ripping through everything. Too weak to withstand it. Make every move decisive. Make every choice sharp. Make every action scream that no one can define you but yourself. Ignite obsession. You've seen the power it holds. Now harness it. Study your battlefield. Know your tools. Understand your enemies. The tiniest detail overlooked is the crack that lets the world in to destroy your fire. Obsess. Perfect. Refine. Let it consume you, not aimlessly, but with a purpose so clear, so brilliant, that the world can't touch you without your permission. And here's the kicker. The madness that once seemed dangerous is now your weapon. Every sleepless night, every risk, every daring move becomes fuel for the empire of your own honor. Strike with audacity. Predictable moves are for the weak. Boldness terrifies. Madness commands. When you act like the world owes you attention. When you push boundaries, push so far that fear hits their eyes before your hands even move. Make your presence felt. Your voice unignorable, your actions unstoppable. Yes, unstoppable in a calculated way. Because real power doesn't stumble. It dominates quietly, intelligently, ruthlessly. This is how honor is defended. This is how legacy is forged. Weaponize every obstacle, every insult, every betrayal. Every no you've ever heard is a tool, a stepping stone, a spark for action. Chaos isn't a curse, it's a gift. The world gives you disorder, you turn it into advantage. Every setback is momentum, Every failure, a ladder. Every doubter, ammunition. And when you've turned the world's venom into your own lifeblood, you will realize something terrifying, terrifyingly beautiful. No one can touch you. Not truly. Not ever. Be relentless. Stop caring what they think. Stop fearing what they say. Stop waiting for permission. Adapt. Pivot. Strike. Grow. Every second you delay is a second lost to mediocrity. Honor is defended only by those willing to fight for it, without pause, without compromise, without apology. The billionaires you've watched, geniuses cloaked in madness, they don't rest, and neither will you. Now take a breath. Feel it. The electricity, the tension, the madness coursing through your veins. That spark is proof. Proof that the world can't control you. Proof that your honor is untouchable if you wield it like a weapon. Like fire, like lightning, like brilliance too sharp to ignore. Step forward. Embrace obsession. Strike with audacity. Turn chaos into armor. Make perception your ally. Adapt relentlessly. Own the blueprint. And then, rise. Because the arena doesn't wait. The rules aren't kind. The only thing that matters is this. Are you willing to defend yourself with the same brilliance? They all said the same thing, but not with hope in their voice this time. Not with relief. Not with gratitude. They said it with hollow eyes, clenched jaws, and a silence that lingered too long afterward. And the moment the words left their mouths, something cold crawled down their spine, because they realized the truth was darker than they ever imagined. It always starts the same way. Confidence, noise, belief that life will bend if you push hard enough. Belief that strength means never breaking. Belief that pain is optional. They laughed at warnings, ignored signs, drowned out intuition with distractions. They thought they were different. Smarter, stronger, untouchable. No one is coming to save you. That sentence alone is enough to change the direction of a life if it truly sinks in. At first, the mind rejects it. It feels harsh, unfair, almost cruel. You want to believe someone will notice, someone will step in, someone will understand how hard it's been. But the longer life goes on, the clearer it becomes that waiting is its own kind of trap. The world keeps moving whether you are ready or not. Time doesn't pause for healing. Opportunities don't knock twice just because you were hurting the first time. And when that truth finally lands, it sends chills down your spine because it strips away every comfortable illusion you've been holding on to. This world doesn't care how tired you are. It doesn't care how much you've already endured. It doesn't care that you were treated unfairly or that you tried your best. Reality only responds to action, adaptation, and resilience. That realization hurts because it means responsibility comes back to you. Not blame, but responsibility. And responsibility is heavy. It means your future will not be decided by sympathy, luck, or wishes. It will be decided by what you do when no one is watching and no one is cheering. There's a dark freedom in that truth, because the moment you stop waiting for rescue is the moment you start becoming dangerous to your limitations. You stop explaining your pain. You stop hoping someone will finally understand. You stop expecting life to be gentle. Instead, you prepare for impact. You build strength quietly. You learn how to stand alone without feeling empty. And that's when something shifts internally. The fear doesn't disappear, but it loses control. The excuses don't vanish, but you stop listening to them. When you understand that no one is coming, you also realize something powerful. You've survived everything so far without being saved. Every dark night, every loss, every failure, you're still here. That means the strength you were searching for externally has been inside you the entire time, buried under comfort, distraction, and false hope. The chill comes when you realize how much time you wasted underestimating yourself. This isn't about becoming cold to the world. It's about becoming solid, unmovable, self-reliant. You stop begging life to be easier and start becoming stronger. You stop asking for motivation and start building discipline. You stop fearing solitude and start using it to sharpen your mind. And one day, when someone asks how you made it through what should have broken you, you'll know the answer. Even if you don't say it out loud, no one came, so you did. The world doesn't care. That truth cuts deep, because it goes against everything we want to believe when we're hurting. We want fairness to matter. We want effort to count for something on its own. We want pain to earn us relief. But the world moves on without pausing to check if you're okay. Bills still come. Time still passes. People still expect results. And when you finally accept that reality, it feels cold. But it's also clarifying. The world doesn't care about your backstory. It doesn't care how hard your childhood was, how many times you were betrayed, or how much you've already suffered. Those things shape you, but they don't excuse you from reality's demands. And that's where most people break, not because life is hard, but because they expect it to be understanding. When it isn't, disappointment turns into bitterness, and bitterness turns into paralysis. But there's another way to see it. When you stop expecting the world to care, you stop being controlled by it. You stop needing validation to move forward. You stop measuring your worth by how gently life treats you. You realize that survival, progress, and growth were never about fairness. They were about adaptation. The strongest don't win because they're lucky. They win because they learn faster, adjust quicker, and endure longer. The chill comes when you realize how much energy you wasted waiting for empathy instead of building resilience. How many times you explained your situation instead of changing it. How often you hoped someone would notice instead of becoming undeniable. The world didn't ignore you out of cruelty. It ignored you because that's its nature. And once you accept that, you stop taking it personally. This truth is dark, but it's also empowering. Because if the world doesn't care, then you're free from trying to please it. You're free from performing your pain, free from proving how hard it's been. You focus instead on what works, on what moves the needle, on what makes you stronger tomorrow than you were today. You stop expecting applause for effort and start demanding results from yourself. You stop hoping circumstances will change and start changing how you show up inside them. You stop asking why this happened to you and start asking how you'll use it. The world may not care, but it responds. It responds to consistency. It responds to discipline. It responds to those who keep moving forward even when no one is watching. And once you understand that, you stop feeling small. You stop feeling invisible. You start feeling focused. Because indifference is not rejection, it's a test. And those who pass it don't become soft, angry, or defeated. They become sharp, grounded, unshakable. They stop needing the world to care because they finally care enough about themselves to take control. Weakness is expensive. Most people don't realize the cost until the bill arrives. At first, weakness disguises itself as comfort, patience, kindness, or taking it easy. It feels harmless. It feels justified. You tell yourself you'll push harder tomorrow, that rest will turn into momentum, that avoiding the hard thing today won't matter in the long run. But life keeps records. Every delay, every excuse, every moment you choose comfort over growth adds interest to that debt. The price shows up quietly at first. Missed opportunities, subtle loss of respect, a growing gap between who you are and who you know you could be. Then one day, it shows up all at once. You realize others moved ahead while you were hesitating. You realize doors closed while you were preparing. You realize time didn't slow down just because you were tired. That realization hits hard because it exposes the truth. No one stole your future. You handed pieces of it away in moments of weakness. Weakness costs you leverage. It costs you options. It costs you self-trust. Each time you say you'll start later and don't, a part of you stops believing your own words. That's dangerous, because once self-trust is gone, discipline collapses, motivation fades, and you begin relying on feelings instead of standards. Life doesn't respond to feelings. It responds to consistency. The chill comes when you realize how much stronger you had to become just to survive situations you could have avoided by being disciplined earlier. How many battles were harder because you entered them unprepared? How much pain was unnecessary, but still very real? Weakness doesn't just hurt you, it multiplies future suffering. This isn't about being cruel to yourself. It's about being honest. Strength is not optional in a world that demands results. Emotional strength, mental strength, physical strength, they are currencies. The less you have, the more you pay. You pay with stress. You pay with anxiety. You pay with regret. When you understand that weakness has a cost, you stop romanticizing it. You stop calling avoidance self-care when it's really fear. You stop calling distraction balance when it's really escape. You start doing the hard things early so life doesn't force them on you later. Strength doesn't make life easy. It makes it manageable. It gives you room to breathe when pressure hits. It gives you choices when chaos shows up. And once you feel that difference, you never want to go back. Pain tells the truth when nothing else will. It doesn't flatter you. It doesn't soften its words. It doesn't care about your intentions or your excuses. Pain goes straight to the core and exposes what's real. That's why it's so uncomfortable, because it removes the lies you've been telling yourself to survive. When everything is going well, you can pretend, you can avoid, you can delay, but pain has a way of forcing honesty. When life hurts, clarity follows. You suddenly see who was never really there for you. You see which habits were slowly destroying you. You see how much time you wasted chasing things that didn't matter. Pain sharpens awareness. It pulls back the curtain and shows you the cost of your choices without sugarcoating a single detail. That realization sends chills because it's irreversible. Once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. Pain reveals priorities. When everything falls apart, only what truly matters remains. Ego fades. Appearances lose value. Empty goals collapse. You stop caring about impressing people who won't stand with you in the dark. You stop chasing approval that never filled you anyway. Pain simplifies life by stripping it down to survival, purpose, and meaning. It also reveals strength you didn't know you had. Not the loud kind, not the dramatic kind. The quiet strength of getting up when you don't want to. The strength of continuing when motivation is gone. The strength of holding yourself together when no one notices you're falling apart. Pain shows you that endurance isn't glamorous, but it's powerful. The truth is, comfort lies. Comfort tells you that you have time, that you can fix things later, that you don't need to change yet. Pain destroys that illusion. It shows you consequences in real time. It forces growth through pressure. And while that growth feels brutal in the moment, it leaves behind wisdom that comfort never could. The chill comes when you realize pain wasn't sent to break you. It was sent to wake you up, to show you the gap between who you are and who you need to become, to force you to choose whether you'll stay the same or evolve. People who avoid pain stay small. People who listen to it change. They don't become fearless, but they become honest. They don't become perfect, but they become aware. And awareness is dangerous in the best way. Because once pain has taught you the truth, you stop running, you stop pretending, you start acting with intention. And from that point on, life may still hurt, but it will never deceive you again. Adapt or be consumed. Life doesn't pause to negotiate, and it doesn't reward resistance to reality. It applies pressure and waits to see what survives. Those who refuse to change cling to who they used to be, to old habits, old identities, old comforts, and slowly, almost invisibly, life moves past them. The world doesn't destroy them all at once. It lets them fade. That's the cruel part. You don't always notice you're losing until you've already fallen behind. Adaptation is uncomfortable because it requires letting go. Letting go of excuses that once protected your ego. Letting go of routines that no longer serve you. Letting go of the version of yourself that felt familiar, but was no longer effective. Change feels like loss at first. That's why most people avoid it. They'd rather suffer in a known pain than risk the uncertainty of growth. The chill comes when you realize life doesn't care about who you were. It only responds to who you are becoming. The strategies that once worked won't always work again. The mindset that got you through one season may sabotage you in the next. If you don't evolve, you don't just stay the same, you fall behind. Adaptation is not betrayal of your past. It's respect for your future. It's understanding that survival isn't about strength alone, but flexibility. The strongest trees don't break in storms because they bend. Rigid ones snap. The same is true for people. Those who adapt learn new skills when the old ones stop working. They change their thinking when the old patterns lead to the same pain. They listen when reality gives feedback instead of arguing with it. Being consumed doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like burnout, like bitterness, like resentment, like watching others move forward while you replay the same chapter over and over. Life doesn't have to crush you. It can simply outgrow you. When you choose to adapt, something powerful happens. You stop fighting reality and start working with it. You stop wasting energy on denial and use it to build capability. You become harder to break because you're no longer attached to a single version of yourself. Adaptation builds quiet confidence, not the loud kind that needs approval, but the steady kind that knows it can handle whatever comes next. Because it already has. Discipline is built in silence, not in moments of hype, not when people are watching, not when motivation is high. It's built in the quiet hours where no one knows what you're doing and no one cares enough to ask. That's why most people never develop it. Silence exposes you. There's no applause to lean on, no pressure to perform, no external reward to chase. Just you, your standards, and the choice to show up anyway. At first, silence feels empty. It feels like effort without recognition. You start wondering if it's even worth it. That's the test. Because discipline isn't about results at the beginning. It's about identity. It's about proving to yourself that your word means something even when there's no audience. Each small action taken in silence strengthens self-trust. Each skipped excuse weakens the part of you that wants comfort instead of progress. The chill comes when you realize how loud your results become later because of how quiet your work was before. People only see the outcome. They never see the nights you chose effort over ease, structure over chaos, consistency over emotion. Silence hides the struggle, but it also hides the strength being built underneath. Discipline removes the need for motivation. Motivation fades. Discipline remains. It becomes a system that carries you through days when you don't feel inspired, confident, or hopeful. It doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what needs to be done. And that's powerful, because emotions change daily, but standards don't. In silence, you learn patience. You learn how to delay gratification. You learn how to sit with discomfort without running from it. These are not glamorous skills, but they are rare, and rarity creates advantage. While others wait to feel ready, disciplined people move forward anyway. There's a moment when silence stops feeling lonely and starts feeling focused. You realize that peace isn't the absence of noise, it's the absence of inner chaos. Discipline quiets the mind by giving it direction. You're no longer pulled in every direction by impulse, comparison, or distraction. When results finally arrive, they don't feel like luck. They feel earned, grounded, stable, and that's when the silence pays off. Because you don't just achieve something, you become someone. Discipline doesn't announce itself. It doesn't demand attention. But over time, it separates those who talk from those who build. And once you've experienced the power of silent discipline, you never crave noise again.